Hi, hello, and welcome to the library. I don't know, my computer is struggling with encoding for some reason. I think it's again my CPU being a bit overloaded. So tell me if there's something wrong happening on screen. Hopefully it will not be the case, but I just don't know. I hope that you're doing very good today. In this very warm, very unenjoyable day. I think it's just too much. But yeah, take care of yourself. Remember to drink often and to rest, not to walk too much. I've done that. I've been napping, to be fair. I think like my body is really not used to the heat, and I'm just crumbling every time I'm walking more than 1 hour. But yeah, Siggy Smalls make a reappearance. So true. Well, I hope that you had like a good time those past few days. I'm freezing over here. Well, let's not talk about that. Like I'll start to get like a bit mad, I guess. Yeah. I was reading, there was like an article by the Japan Times just earlier today. Well, it was also like cross-posted on the New York Times, like about the spread of marine heat waves. And how we have seen a fair share of the like ocean surface experiencing heat waves, just because like heat is trapped in the atmosphere and it is soaked by the ocean surface, and this leads like to an increase obviously of temperature, but also like other effects like the blob, which happened like a few years ago with this like heat wave that like devastated plankton and led to like disappearance, or at least like the starving of marine wildlife and also like seabirds in general. We are seeing like also like thermal expansion, which is when you have like something that is heating up, it's expanding, and in the past few years it is becoming like the main source of ocean raising, the raising of ocean levels, even more so than like the melting of glacier and ice. So yeah, every time, I don't know, we enter like this summer and we are seeing that summer starts earlier and earlier every year, and that like extreme temperature are not like anecdotal in some respect, but it's kind of like becoming the norm, where you don't have like short spikes, I think, of like heat waves. It's more like a long-lasting period of heat. It's the case here, and it's the case with oceans. And yeah, I think it's like right now in Japan, it's also the case. I was reading like some articles about the fact that it's still the rainy season, and it's like really, really hot in Japan, and I think it's the case in like a lot of other countries. The floor for very, very hot days is like at 35 degrees. I can't remember, there's a name for that, but I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the word that they're using, like to say that like they are more, I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah, it's like 30, 35 degrees. And I think like yesterday they were hitting that like literally in every prefecture or something like that. And I don't know, the mercury just like was burning in most places, like setting record in every location. And I think it's the same thing in France. It's the same thing everywhere. And yeah, we are still, you know, in mid-June. This is like a bit insane. Mo Shobi is the name. I found it. So yeah, Mo being like fierce, obviously the kanji for fierce. But yeah, I don't know. I think we might be, you know, suffering this summer. You are glad you can jump into cold water often to ease yourself. I mean, this is like a nice thing, and especially like heat, I think is having like a compounding effect on certain people in the way we behave. For example, like you will want to take maybe like several showers every day, and this is not nice because like well, you're using water and so on, and at some point in some locations water is restricted, although it's mostly like for agriculture. But yeah, and there's a cost like of like the heat waves, an individual cost. I mean, in terms of like, oh, I need to take showers, so I need to use water, I need to use the air conditioner if I have one, and this costs like money to set up and to use. And then my problem with AC, and this is why I do not want to install AC here, is that you're basically like rerouting the heat from inside your house outside. So you will contribute to like the heat bubble of your city if you are living in the city, and it has a compounding effect on in general like the way the heat is trapped like inside the city. So a lot of issues and not a lot of solutions, unfortunately. I mean, on a day-to-day basis, not everywhere, but a lot of places. If you're talking about like the threshold for like the extremely hot day. But yeah, I know obviously like people have like different habits, and we don't consider like, you know, temperature the same way. I think if you live like a bit in, you know, Northern Europe, or let's say, you know, starting with like UK latitude, hot weather is already, you know, at 25. I think like the static was talking at some point about like how above 25 it was already unbearable, and I'm like, I wish, you know, it was 25. For me, 25 is like, you know, I'm not like absolutely optimal, but it's like comfortable temperature. Whereas I think nowadays, when I was younger, 30 degrees was the point where I felt like really hot. And it's still the case nowadays, but I think I can tank until probably 33, 34 nowadays, because we have been used to those high temperatures in the past year, like a lot. Build more rivers. Rivers are cool. They are. I mean, obviously, don't make me talk about rivers because like we could be here for a while. I was like preparing things. So I have like it makes sense. My thought process makes sense. I have like so I talked to the artist I want to commission for my new model, and the approximate delivery of the model will probably be mid until like late September. So what I'm doing right now is like I'm kind of prepping a script for a video that I will make when I will have the model, and we'll re-examine like the question of like fishing in Japanese rivers. It will be a bit tighter. It will be like, you know, a video, so better editing, better scripting. And yesterday I was basically redoing some research on the topic, like filling the gaps of what I left like 1 year and a half ago. And I do agree, like rivers are extremely important. Building rivers, it's complicated, obviously, but at least taking care of the rivers that we have right now, I think it's important, especially because like a lot of them are drying up. It's the summer, and we know that like for like a lot of rivers during summer, we can see literally the bed of the river. And there are things we need to take care about. Like there's a lot of situation, especially in summer, about like the retention of water in land areas. And obviously in summer, most of the water goes back to the ocean. They don't stay in rivers and lakes. And this is a problem. Like, how are we keeping our rivers basically alive during like summer? Not easy. Like, I think our summers have been more rainy and cold the last years. To be fair, there's like climate change in a way that the planet is getting warmer and warmer on average. But climate change is mostly like unpredictability in weather. So you can have like summers that are more rainy, and obviously like you have like situation with like ocean. If you live like near an ocean, obviously you will have like different weather patterns. If you live like in, you know, a country that is experiencing in general like a 2-season cycle with like the dry and the rainy season, it's a bit different. So obviously there's no like, you know, generalization when it comes to weather pattern. It just depends. And also like you have very localized like issues. Like if you have a mountain, obviously it will be different. If you live in a city, there will be like a heat dome that will handle things also like a bit differently. So a lot of different elements here to take care about when we are thinking about weather change. You are going to do any debut stuff, any partial reveals. It's like I'm too lazy to do like social media stuff, I think. Most of the social media thing that I'm doing is basically like automatized. I just like write the tweets in advance, during the weekend, and it's posting in it's scheduled, and so it posts itself like without any input from my part. And because I don't have the time to like handle like social media because I'm too busy with other things, since like, I don't know, I feel like taking care of social media right now, maybe it's an investment for the future, but I feel right now that it's mostly wasting time because I don't have like a big following, so it doesn't really matter. So no partial reveals, probably. I don't even know if it really works, to be honest. It might work until, when you get like a decent audience, but like at the beginning, I'm not sure it works. But debut stuff, probably. I mean, on stream, there will be like a stream like dedicated to the model. Maybe I want to do it like a bit like lore, official, like corporate, let's say, debut. I don't know yet. But I don't know. I have like plans, but nothing is really concrete right now. So I'm keeping my options open depending on what I want to do. We'll see. How can a river flows downstream when your country is as flat as Denmark? But like, do you have like, I mean, the rivers are coming from other countries, right? Or am I crazy? To to be fair, like Denmark is like a bit far away from France, and so it's like a country where I don't know the geography very well. Oh no, because like yeah, you're only like at the tip of like Germany, so literally like no rivers. Literally no rivers. The sea pulls hard. I mean, true. And to be fair, like, don't you have like a lot of like artificial rivers as well? I'm checking some of them and they look, you know, kind of like artificial. I don't know. And to be fair, like you don't need a lot of elevation to have a river flowing. It can be like very, very, you know, marginal and it will still work. So yeah, but river, very interesting topic, obviously. You know, the reason why it's like my topic of research for the last 2 years. We have canals, but it's very limited. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, it's mostly interaction with the sea, right? That is pulling and pushing. And you can have like still rivers to some extent, to be honest. But this is like a big thing, you know, like the water kind of like going backwards because the sea is like pushing back. And this is like a problem in some places, especially when it comes to pollution and stuff. There has been like very interesting studies on the Sumida River about like the Tokyo Bay water going back into the Sumida River at certain period of the day, and this is creating some issue with like pollution that were moderately taken care of by well, the Tokyo municipality. So very, very interesting topic. I so want to jump into a cold river right now and let it float me around. I mean, I get. I think it's not like that common in here. Well, especially in, you know, in the city in France. Like, we don't have like clean rivers for like the big ones, so you need to go kind of like outside of like the city and find like, you know, a smaller river that you enjoy, and you can do things there. But Paris water looked so bad. It is. Well, they did things for the Olympic Games, right? They tried to make like the Seine swimmable again, but it's like, no, it doesn't work. Just because, I mean, I've talked about that like on other channels. It was too late, I think. And there has been a lot of comparison between the Seine and the Sumida River for different reasons. But like the Sumida River was extremely, extremely dirty back in the 60s because of industrialization, and this was like a massive issue to the point where like the river would smell very bad and it looked like almost green from pollution. And so the Tokyo municipality decided to undertake like a big program to clean the river, basically at the end of the 60s, mostly 70s. And it took them like until today to have like something decent about the Sumida River. I don't think anyone would like, I don't think it's possible, like at least, you know, in the biggest part of the city, but like I don't think anyone would swim on the Sumida River. And if you fish on the Sumida River, like we saw in like negative positive angler, I think nobody would like try to eat that fish because it's still like dirty. Even if like the Sumida River is for the most part passing like the chemical test for like cleanliness. But what I mean is that it took like 50 years to like clean the Sumida River to a level that is nowadays not like great, but like acceptable. And like they wanted to clean the Seine in like 2 years, 1 year and a half. And it's like, what do you think you are doing? It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's not possible. And obviously they, were not able to do that. Yeah, I mean, Paris is a very dirty city for a lot of reasons. I was attending like a conference about like the urban development and the development of the Seine River in the modern era, and it's like, yes, in the 18th, maybe early 19th century, but after that they just gave up. They just gave up because there was no way to keep like the river clean while keeping the cost down. Because when you want to clean a river, you need to use another river to bring some, clean water. And the problem is that like those rivers for like Paris are too far away. It's too costly to do that. It's gonna take an unbelievable amount of time and resources to solve that kind of issue exactly. Right now I have access to mountain water rivers and they are so blue. I'm used to dirt brown muddy water. I mean, yes, exactly. This is like the thing where people have a different relationship with like water and rivers depending on where they live. And I think it will really like modify the way you're engaging with environment. I really believe that like to really care about the environment, you need to live in an area that is showcasing like the best part of like environment. So you have like a sort of personal attachment to it. Because I think it's what really drives people to be like, kind of like eco-friendly. Or at least like aware of the environment around them. And it's hard to do in cities, but like, I think in cities, it's like the responsibilities of like local associations and politics to make the city like very enjoyable with like a lot of nature. Like where I live, I'm in a big city, but I live like in a district where we have a lot of vegetation. We have like a small forest, very, near where I live. And I've always been like surrounded by nature, or at least, a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation, even while being like in the city. And I think this is like very important to, just engage with those discussions and try to be more thoughtful about the environment. Just the state of the riverbed at this point. This is just not how river works. Exactly, like we have been at the point where rivers are genuinely like unhealthy. I mean, like, sick. And it's a real problem. And it's like, again, how are we like solving that issue when it seems like, a third rank issue for a lot of politics? Environment romanticism. It's less romanticism, I think, and just like inhabiting the world, like really inhabiting the world. I think it's like obvious for people that are living, in more rural areas. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I probably have some ideas, but it's too hard to think. It's sort of like how you care more about people who are close to you, I'd say. Exactly. And I think like if you see a lot of animals around you, you kind of like get a better appreciation for the environment as, a lived space where humans are not at the center, when I was young, and I mean this is a conversation everybody knows, but like when I was young, I used to see so much more insects, like bees, butterflies, during like spring and summer. And I remember seeing a lot of flowers as well. Even I used to live like in an apartment building, and we had like a sort of like inner court, and there were like a lot of grass and some greenery in general, and you would see like those insects just being there, and there's like a closeness like with the environment, because you know that you live in a world where you're not the main species. And I think the problem nowadays is that we have a like commodified environment so much that people genuinely believe that they are at the top of the ecosystem. And I think there's a real like education work to do to make the newer generation relate with environment again. I mean, if you do not go to a museum, how often can you see like animals nowadays? It's like impossible, because cities have really driven like a lot of like animals. I mean mammals, of course, and some reptiles, but like a lot of insects are also like outside, or they're just dead, like because it's too hot or whatever, because we don't have any more flowers in cities. And I think it's really sad, like that a lot of people cannot relate to that. Same thing with snow. I think like depending on where you live, like right now where I live, I haven't seen snow in years. Maybe it has snowed, like once every 2 years, but it's never sticking, it's never staying. And you have like an entire generation of like younger people that have never seen the snow in their life. And even like if you try to go like on, I don't know, in the mountain in the winter, it's unclear. It's often like artificial snow here. Kids need to build tree houses again. I do agree. I completely agree. I think like there has been like something lost with, environment. Again, even in cities, I think like I used to see like more people outside, more kids outside, and a better relationship with the environment. And yeah, it's hard. Like this is what is funny about like I know it's a meme, but like when we were saying like go touch some grass, and like one could like answer, but where? There's no grass anymore, in cities. So where do I go? And you have this situation, especially when you're young. Like, I think you need to go outside of like the cities if you want to really relate with the environment. But this is not that easy because cities are expanding. You have to go further and further away to see, the countryside, let's say, or places with like a lot of greenery. And going that far out of the city, this is not easy, like as a young person, as a child, as a young teenager, or even, as a late teenager. Maybe you can ride like a bus, maybe you can ride your bike, but not everyone has a bike, to be honest. Especially if you have like some sort of like programs in your city where you can like rent a bike, so you go station to station, but you cannot really go outside of the city, or you need to ask your parents probably like to be able to go outside. But again, because like greenery is further and further away from like the center of cities, it's really hard to get like this experience of, I really have like a day completely outside. I think that it comes more often as like an exception, like a big event, more than something that you would do, every 3 days. I remember then when I was young, like we would go out like a lot. and go into like parks that were further away from the city. But I don't think it's reasonable nowadays because of city expansion. I understand what you're saying, but I do find it a little bit difficult to relate to. Maybe the hit and bad environmental policies haven't hit Denmark to some extent yet. Maybe, I don't know, again, like if Denmark... Also, this is a smaller country with like a smaller population. So you have this situation where like cities are less crowded. They are less dense, and you have like more space for like greenery, and it allows local, you know, municipalities to have like a lot more of those like spaces where you can enjoy yourself with nature in the city. Which I think, like, at least here in France, we have some places where it's unclear. I live in a good place, to be fair. Where I live, again, I see a lot of greenery when I'm taking walks. And I have like parks basically everywhere, like urban parks everywhere. But like it's a big problem, I think, for the next few years, because like certain policies are a bit weird right now, and it's a big problem in like other cities, right? I mean, if you go to the United States, if you go to Japan, the way they are handling like greenery is very different. Well, in the United States, because of like their urban development, whatever. In Japan, because like it's so, you know, the density, the population density is so high that if you go to Tokyo and in certain places, certain, you know, district of Tokyo, it's only like skyscrapers. You don't have like greenery at all. I'm really glad that they keep forests in most cities just tucked in between buildings. But there is also not that many people, so less buildings. Exactly. I think like it's very important, but that comes like to, you know, local policies. And local policies, it's always like a sort of like collaboration or compromise, a set of compromises between, you know, the people living there, the associations, the local associations, and the you know, city council. And I think like people have like a decisional power to steer some politics in a certain way. Like if your city already has like decent environmental policies, just keep it that way. Just, you know, engage, not in, you know, it's not like, oh, go do some local politics, but it's like, if prompted, feel free to, you know, support your like local associations that are fighting for, you know, good living conditions within the city. I think I have like an association near me where it's basically like they are lobbying against destruction of, you know, certain buildings and parks because we want to keep them. And yeah, population density in France and Denmark are very similar, to be fair, but I get what you're saying. I think the question is more like, is the population density the same in like cities? Because I think it's the problem. And especially if you take the big cities. I think if you live in a smaller city in France, it's all right, because like population density is lower, but like top 3 cities, so Paris, Marseille, and Lyon, complicated because like it's quite dense. So obviously, like it's very a case, you know, case by case discussion. But yeah. But yeah, local politics, and we have like very, very big, you know, success of like people getting involved into those discussions, and they kept like their district extremely clean and extremely like environmental friendly. I think I talked about that like on Blue Sky. But like Vauban near Freiburg is basically a sustainable like district where they have like there's no car. You cannot like use your car there unless you have an exception for delivery and stuff like this. And it's everywhere is walkable, and you have like a lot of greenery, and it's such like a nice place to be. Oh my god, this is the first WoW redeem. I don't think it showed on screen because I have not set up things, but it is our first WoW redeem. I think if I check like the I think I have like a sort of counter and I can check maybe the variable. I don't know, it's here somewhere. How many do you need? You need 10 of them, I think. What if you redeem another? I mean, I need to check like how I did things. Maybe like the alert was not like set up properly. But yeah, you need like 10 of them. So 9 more. I can try to... Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, I've set up things so that it will, if people are really farming for them, it will be like in October probably. Or do you have like, you had like enough to redeem like twice in a row? It's crazy. We're getting closer to, we need, oh my god. Probably the WoW stream will come like faster than expected. But we'll do a WoW stream. Like I'm really not against it. As part of the stream, we are yapping. We have been yapping for like more than half an hour. What are we doing here? We should play the game. But at the same time, yapping is fun. So subs get double the points plus 2. I see. Pay to win. Yippee! Thank you so much for the sub. It's very appreciated. Not mandatory, of course, but very appreciated. And thank you for the hydration check. I'm kind of glad, by the way, that we are not raiding this week, just because, like, with the heat, it would have been too much. Yeah, what were we talking about? I can't remember. Yeah, greenery. I think, yeah, it's just a matter of, like, teaching, like, young people again to enjoy the environment. If it's already the case in your country, good for you, and, like, keep it that way, I think. Fight against, like, all the bullshit that your government can come with on certain topics. I mean, to be fair, I think, like, Nordic countries are, like, less insane when it comes to environmental policies than like Western Europe, but still. I mean, we have a very good chat right now. But yeah, this is like a problem in a lot of countries that don't have like this. And it's probably, education as well. Like if you're really learning about like environmental policies and taking care of the environment in school, it will probably carry on in your adult life, but I don't think it's really the case in France. I don't remember like school being very, focused on those questions, even in, physical science and, whatever. Greenery, I love storing rain in a barn. I mean, oh my god, I remember I was working on that at some point. Oh, because I was working on like storing rice, doing some research on like rice storing in Japan. But this is really not like the topic of today. She loves cranes for brewing. Inzo, different ideas. Speaking of like brewing, there's also very, very interesting again. We are yapping. We're just yapping today, I guess. This is a yapping Azad Sudan. We should probably even change like the name of the like the category, but I'm too lazy for that, I think. By the way, Secret, while you're here, I think this is time. I think this is time for you. Let me... I think this is time for you. Um, I I was like listening to different things like lately. I was like in the car and I was listening to the radio, and there was like um sort of like show or like program about wine. Mod moment. You have now your sword. There's been a program about like wine and like the future of like wine basically in France, because with things being like so hot, we are seeing certain regions struggling to adapt to the new temperatures, and it's like shifting the center of gravity of like certain domains. It comes with great responsibility, you know it. I made you a mod, I can like remove the sword anytime I want. So be nice, but you have your sword, because we kind of need like someone, for that. And you're here a lot, so why not? So the center of gravity of like, certain domains is slightly shifting. And I think it's certainly the case in like Côte du Rhône, it's the case in Champagne, where certain like grape varieties are struggling because of the new temperatures. It's really literally burning, the soil is burning. And you have like also a situation where a lot of like the wines that were, for example, like made in Champagne can be made further up in the north. So mostly like, literally Pas-de-Calais in France, but also like the southern part of the UK. And I think we are like in a transitional period where UK industry, wine industry will pick up at some point, because they are now the one being like in the optimal temperature range, or almost in the optimal temperature range for like wine, production in general. You have the same thing in the United States, where the Napa Valley is also experiencing some problems, although the Napa Valley is also kind of like sustained by kind of like taking the water of the entirety of like the region, so it's a bit weird. But you have like those shifts in wine production, and I think it will be very interesting in the future to see how things will evolve. And like to tie it with the conversation we just had, there's this situation where, what is wine today? I think wine, there's like the pleasure of drinking, obviously, but there's a pleasure also in knowing where it comes from. Knowing that, it's a product of the earth, and you have like, this is like basic knowledge if you're like interested in wine, but like wine is good soil, good workers, and good overall production, system. It's really the land and the people living their land, knowing their land. And I think like sustainable wine production is a production where the consumer, and this is also the role of the sommelier, to be honest, to like communicate those information and create, like educate people that way. It's like remembering that like everything something is like comes from the earth. It is the product of labor and of a certain way of like living and using the land, and that should be sustainable. So same thing, we talk about wine, but this is the same thing with cooking and how you source your products. And I think like food also, that's why food studies also is so interesting to me, because this is also another way to like relate with the environment. I think like if you have the opportunity to do your groceries at the market, this is such a nice experience. This is so fun. You can touch things, you can smell things, you can talk with the people that are growing like the vegetables and the fruits and so on. And you have like this deeper relationship with nature. Whereas I think doing obviously your groceries in like a supermarket, this is like, this is too clean. You don't have any relationship with nature. And I think like there's many interesting things we can say about like food, about wine. I talk about wine, but it's the same thing as you said about like brewing other things, ale, mead, whatever. It's like, yeah, we are living in an environment that is so complex, and we can do so many things with the environment while preserving it. And this is very interesting to me. You're always nice and a proponent of order and rules. +2. This Siggy is not authoritarian, unlike other Siggys, far-right Siggys. It was such a mind blow to know a lot of cheeses and wine etc. names were actual places. Wine and coffee are cultural landmark, which is cool except for the international demand and shipping and what's not. Exactly, and I think like I'll answer to the cheese and wine just after, but for like coffee, I think we're in a situation where like, and it's the same thing with chocolate, by the way. Chocolate, enjoy chocolate while it still exists, because at some point we won't have chocolate anymore. Because it's just not sustainable. It will disappear at some point. I think like we already knew that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and we have still some margin, but there's a real problem of like chocolate overconsumption today. And I think I read like some articles the other week about the same thing with coffee. Coffee will disappear at some point. And there's a situation where we need to adapt. And we need to find like other, you know, things we can consume that are close to coffee. And you have a lot of choice, obviously. Some of those choices are not well liked, but I think it's also, you know, social like stigma, and we can like fight against that. But there's like a certain, you know, drink and like ingredients that are grown like locally and that we don't use anymore because of this international demand, and because we are so used to drinking, you know, tea or coffee. But those are things that we can change to some extent. Bake while you can +2. I mean, bake while you can, because like in probably like at least here in like 1 month or 2 months with a heat wave, you cannot bake. If you bake, you die literally because of the temperature. And to answer about like cheeses and wine, I think yes, it's very important to understand that like in countries where you have like such a diversity of like products within the same, you know, food category, be it like cheese or wine, you have a lot of labels. And to know if a wine is good, basically, you need to check like the exact location where it has been like grown. And sometimes you have like a very generic location because it's just like grapes that were grown, you know, everywhere in the region, and it's just like you know, a mix of different varieties of grape. So it's kind of like a commercial wine that is made to hit like a certain note and to be like very accessible to the public, which is, you know, fine to some extent. And the deeper you go into the wine, into like good wines, the more precise, accurate the naming will be. It can be like a region, it can be like a domain, or it can be like the sub part of a domain. And when you have like this specific indication of like, oh, it has been like, you know, grown in this particular domain, we are talking about something that is maybe, you know, less than 1 hectare in like surface. And you know that it has been chosen because it fits like very specific condition, because of the soil, because of the sun exposure, because of rain, because of a lot of different things. And you will have like a very specific flavor profile with that grape in terms of sugar, but not only sugar, and this will make like a very specific wine. And this is a very interesting thing when you get like deep into wine, you know, knowledge, is that you want to kind of know like those domains, because they will give you like very good indication about what type of wine it is and what you can expect from it. And this is the same thing about cheese. If you have like, you know, cheeses that is made from milk of animals that are consuming a lot of flours, you will get like a very floury cheese. And this is like very good. And so you have like certain cheeses that you cannot name if they are not produced in a very specific regions. Like probably the most known example is Camembert. Camembert can only be used if it is made in Normandy. If it's made outside of Normandy, you cannot call that a Camembert. And I think this is very important because it's kind of like showing that there's a lot of variation within the land, and that certain like production like process are very specific and they have a history for a reason. We're keeping the same method for a reason because it worked like for centuries. Why would you change it? Of course, things will change by default because like the world is changing, climate change, whatever. But it's this idea that, I don't know, there's, you know, always this talk about like tradition. Is tradition good or not? It really depends on what you do with tradition. You can have very great tradition because it's sustainable. It's like social history. You're keeping communities alive, and I think this is good. We should just not be blinded by tradition, but tradition for the sake of like sustainability, very good. How useful is supporting less well-off countries by purchasing their products compared to contributing to the shipping demand, and you reduce consumption of local goods? This is a very interesting question, and of course you had like some labels of like sustainable, trade, and especially for certain things, where if you're eating chocolate, if you're drinking coffee, and you're buying your beans yourself, you can at the very least choose beans that were grown in like a sustainable, system that will try to at least, pay the workers like as much as they should be paid in their countries. And this is not a perfect system because, of course, you're still contributing to like internal shipping. But, and also because like certain labels, it's slightly unclear. We can talk about like GATT policies for like hours, but I don't think it's the point of this stream either. But you have like certain ways, I think, to at least do better than, just buy things that are just evil, quote unquote, that were grown in like conditions that are just unbearable for the workers. And I think also we live in a society where if you can do things at your level, I think it's good. But there are certain things that are just too hard. We can't ask people, to not drink coffee. We cannot ask people to not eat chocolate because it's, it's like that. And to be fair, if you want to have an impact on literally like, carbon like print or whatever, you won't do much by not drinking coffee or eating chocolate. You do more by not eating like not eating at all meat or not eating certain type of meat. Like right now, eating beef is probably like, in terms of ingredients, it's probably like the most aggressive ingredient in terms of like carbon print. And again, it's like you and yourself. If you want to do it, if you want to stop like eating beef or just not stop, you don't have to stop. You can also eat less. And I think I was in this situation a bit before where like when I was younger, because I had like no decision on my diet, I would like eat quote unquote a lot of meat. And nowadays I've put that back, or I've traded like, beef with other things. But I have like a lot more meals that are vegetarians. And I think it's just like, slowly altering your way of living. I think it's impossible to, shift your diet into something radically different for the sake of like environmental preservation. But you can like take small habits, like introduce one more ingredient that comes like from your, you know, short length circuit, and use it like in your cooking, and then perhaps at some point it will become important and you will like be able to cut off something that was, I don't know, that came from far away and that is not that useful anymore. Because it feels like the reason these goods are reasonably priced is because wages are comparably quite low. If you had more global equality, it feels like the economics just wouldn't be viable. I mean, yes, and that's why like if you buy like sustainable trade for chocolate and so on, it will be more expensive. But like that's the trade-off, I think. Like I don't eat a lot of chocolate nowadays. Sometimes I have like a bar of chocolate, but because it's so rare, I'm like, okay, let's buy like a good one that is like, you know, well sourced and things like that. It's the same thing with tea, but also because with tea, like I'm deeper in the tea thing. So I'm like, no, I want good tea, and by default, I will buy a tea that is a bit more expensive, and thus I can choose things that are well sourced. But again, there's also the situation where if you struggle in your life, you know, money-wise, those considerations are, you can like skip them to some extent, because also you need to survive. Like we don't ask inhuman efforts from people that are, you know, right now starving and they cannot eat to, you know, to their hunger in a month. So very different. Here they mark the farm locations to where all local meats came from. And I think it's very good, because at least you know like that you have like smaller circuit. And to be fair, that's why it's very good to go to your butcher, your local butcher, instead of a supermarket for meat. Lentils are based. +2, lentils very good, beans very good in general. Deep tea. I mean, I drink a lot of tea, and with some friends we are tasting new teas, you know, every now and then. Lately, we haven't done like a lot, but normally we try to, you know, drink new tea every 2 weeks or so. And we are kind of serious about that. We are like, you know, doing like control tests. We are trying different waters. And I think it's very nice. This is cool because we need to know if your pork comes from Denmark or not. Interesting. Ellie is just a hater. I mean. But yeah, like better consumption of food, I think is very interesting. And I want to talk about that at some point. I've talked that I want to get into food studies, and I want to like showcase things about food studies, mostly in Japan for now, because this is the things that I've been doing some research. But we might do things about like wine and French agriculture as well, although I know it a bit less than Japan. So yeah. I don't buy meat, but people in Sweden genuinely look down on stuff from Denmark, and I have no idea why. I think it's the case for everywhere. Like, there is a stigma with like Spanish tomatoes in general. But mostly, like, there are two reasons. Because, you know, this is not from France, though, so it's bad. And also because a lot of, like, tomato cultures have been, like, outsourced to Spain in, like, a very, like, industrial way, which is not, like, as good as we used to have, like, in France or in, you know, northern Italy, if you bought some tomatoes there. And you have like some stigma that sticks. And then at the end of the day, it's also like a lot of nationalism or whatever. It's complicated. Food is complicated, and there's a lot to say about it, about like why people in certain countries, they prefer like one type of food, and why they would like not buy from other countries and stuff like that. Everyone hates wares from Denmark. I think it's interesting because, I mean, again, Denmark is far away from France, but like comparatively, but like I really have like no opinion on Denmark. There's no stigma on Denmark at the very least. So I don't know. There's probably some generationally inherited sentiment that comes from a genuine place, but I don't know. I did not do the research. At some point, we'll. I mean, there are like a lot of things we can talk about. I talked about that in in the server about like Mooming, and I've not started watching Mooming yet. But I have done some cursory research. I have like some papers that I've read like cursorily about like Moomin in Japan. And this is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. Like I'm very eager to do the Mooming episode on Japan, and because it's far more interesting than I thought. There's a lot of things going on in there. Mooming watch along when? I mean, if you want to do that like in the server, like we can try to plan like, certain episodes we can watch or books that we can read and then talk about it. Like I think it's a very interesting subject and very like, it almost warrants a full-fledged video on that because I have a lot to say about it from the very little that I've read. Opinions and views on food in Vietnam have been interesting to see being here. Can you like give an example so we can like have something to yap about? Like I can bounce off what you say and we can try to explore that a little bit more. And hi Kelly, by the way, it's very, very nice to see you. As you can see, this is like a Dragon Quest stream, but we have been yapping for 1 hour because I don't know, I just love yapping with you. You're like very interesting people. And I don't see like the need to switch to the game for now. That is their purpose. No, to be fair, I did not have a lot of Lego when I was younger. I was more of a Playmobil girl, I think. Lego are made for local incisions under your souls, like a small fakir I'm at +2. Hi, sorry I'm late, still very busy until sometime in July. Don't worry, Kali, do not worry. Real life comes first, like streaming. It's good if you have time for it, if you want like some yapping, but I just hope that you're doing okay. We have not been talking a lot, but I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're not overworking yourself, and that your classes are going well. I think you have done like you have given some oral speaking exams to some of your students. I hope it did well. They did well and you were not like too tired. Particularly, I mean, foreign food here, all cheese, for example, is very expensive and fancy, regardless of where it comes from. Yeah, exactly. Very interesting. Like it's the same thing in a lot of, other example that I know best, obviously, like Japan. Because Japan is an island, you have to import a lot of things there. And it means that if you want to buy fruits in Japan, it will be like obscenely expensive to a point, to be fair, where like fruit baskets are a gift. You can like offer some fruits to some people, and this is literally like the same thing as like bringing some chocolate, even better than bringing some chocolate to people that you like. That reminds me of Korea, exactly, because you have certain fruits that cannot be grown there, and this is very interesting. And I think this is like a thing in Japan right now where there has been like a shift in food consumption in Japan. Obviously, you expect, in the past, rice to be like the main staple of like Japanese cuisine. And to some extent, it's still the case. But after the war, and because of the American, occupation, and also like American culture being like injected into Japan, into Japanese society, you have like certain foods that were consumed a lot more. Bread, meat, and everything, Western. So cheese to some extent, and certain fruits and vegetables. Not too much because it was just too expensive. But those shifts, they have like completely modified like the way Japanese agriculture is working, and some adjustments were not possible. And there are certain foods that are well liked, sorry, but that are just inaccessible because it's too expensive. So exactly, fruit, you have some fruits that are not too expensive, but some of them are really, really, really expensive because, as you say, it's too rocky, too many mountains, not any space, because especially in Korea, it's literally like the city everywhere. So yeah, fruits basket +2. Canned fruit is the real hack. Always sweet, never raw. I don't see the vision. I will say I do not see the vision. Similar to the French colonial influence here in Southeast Asia. Banh mi, pate, I guess. Huge French influence in a lot of Vietnamese cuisine, of course. Like obviously, like France influence, like through Indochine, made a lot of changes, and you can feel like the French influence in a lot of places. To a point where it's almost funny that you see like those foods being like, you talk about banh mi being like influenced by France, and now banh mi is like influencing like sandwich again in France. So it's kind of like a cycle. Very interesting. But yeah, food is always like influenced by other places. Like people think about ramen when it comes to Japan. This is not a Japanese dish. This is a Chinese dish. But it is absorbed, transformed, and this is good. This is fine. Canned apple pie is heaven at the I don't see the vision of canned fruit, to be honest. I don't think I ever had canned fruit that I enjoyed. Like for me, it feels like very cursed. You can say that the only canned fruit that I buy is tomato, because it's a bit more convenient and just better for cooking sauces, for example. A woman I work with just gave me an entire branch of lychee the other day, just to be nice. This is like S tier. I mean, to be fair, lychee is a bit too sour for me. Not that I don't like it. I like lychee a lot. But how is it called? Like in English? You have this fruit that is very similar to lychee, but it's like very sweet. Longan. I don't know how you pronounce it, but same thing, but without the sourness. Really, really good. You know, you have seen it, right? It's like the yellow brownish one. And people think that lychee is best. You need to eat longan because this is crazy. The vision is, we never get fruit fresh here. It's always raw, basically. Interesting. I mean, for some reason, not even apples. You don't even grow apples in there? Mangosteen +2. I mean, a lot of fruits are just, yeah. And I think like, I really like Asian fruits. I think much more than like European fruits. And I'm like, I'm so sad when I cannot buy them, or when I think that, oh, we need to like literally import like those fruits from the other side of the world. You hate durians not being able to grow in the Swedish climate. Did you eat durian? Are you like a durian like enjoyer? Well, apples, but mainly local varieties, so it's limited. I see, okay. Like durian, if you haven't like eaten durian in your life, it's something everyone must do at some point, I think. Same thing with like trying to eat natto. They are so creamy. It's like literally insane. If you can like go past the smell, it's like really, 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 really good. The smell it's madness. Like, it's literally like, I don't know, it smells like rotten socks. It's like it's foul. But then you eat it and it's not at all the same thing. There's like this disconnect of like, it doesn't make sense. It can't be this good. Something that smells that bad cannot be that good. And a good way to like get accustomed to it, a lot of hotels in Thailand and Malaysia have a no durian sign. Yes, because like it will smell for a long time. I remember that when I was a kid, I think like my parents would have stored like some durian in like, I don't remember, I think it was in the car, and the car like smelled like durian for like a week. It was like unbearable. It was really bad. Even nowadays, I do enjoy durian. The smell is still like too much for me. But try, if you want to get accustomed to durian, go into your Chinatown, Asian store and try to buy like the ice cream. You like durian flavored ice cream, because you don't have the smell and you just have the taste, and it will taste so good. It literally tastes like, I don't know, it's condensed milk, but better than that. It's just like so creamy, sweet in a very, good way. Very good entrance point for durian. And then you can like try to eat some real durian. I wonder if the person who first ate durian had no sense of smell. I mean, to be fair, like there's a lot of, in the past, very smelly food. And I think there's also this thing, and especially in the West, where if it smells like a bit off, people will be like put off by it like a lot. I know that a lot of people are like, ew, cheese, I can't eat cheese because it's so strong. I can't do it. Like I can't, even smelling it, it's too much. And you have, I think, in the West, this like food education where people are very nowadays clean in the way they cook. Like I don't remember the name of like those like Swedish, I can't remember, but those fermented fish, whole fish fermented in like Nordic countries, and it's foul. People say it's foul, but it's like, I think that it's just that we have grown out of like smelly food to some extent. Exactly. Bad smells are just a skill diff. Exactly. Fermented herring. Exactly. And I think it's the same case with like some staples of like ancient food that we don't have anymore. Like if you make Western people smell like fish sauce, they will be like, ew, I can't, fish sauce, this is the most disgusting thing of all time, this smells so bad, I can't. But in fact, and you probably know that, or if you don't, I'll tell you, in Roman cuisine, the staple, the sauce staple, because salt was not really, a viable option, was fish sauce, and it was called garum. To the point, like people used to love garum so much that it disappeared. It disappeared. The way they used to like eat too much of that, and literally it became like instinct in the Middle Ages because it was like so popular before. And this is very similar to like fish sauce, nok mam that you can have like in Asia. And it's just that like certain people and the way we have been consuming like food, we are not used to those flavors anymore. But then it's just a matter of like trying to expand your palate again. And again, I'm not saying that you need to do it. If you feel uncomfortable doing it, don't do it. As long as you have fun with food, it's fine. But yeah, I think like food education, there's like a lot to do here, especially nowadays where food has become very, people cook less in general. You have a lot more like prepackaged food, pre-cooked food. And those are very, standardized in terms of flavor. And I think it's also why you have some people that believe that fat is everything. Like fat is flavor. And so like there's a very, I think, unhealthy relationship, not unhealthy, but like, I don't know, overrated relationship with fat or certain type of fat, where it's like yes, it's nice, but you have like alternatives that are as tasty as that. And to be fair, again, it's a matter of being like used and food habits. Then, you know, it's normal to not like something the first time you eat it. But I think there's like something good in like, especially when you're immersed in another culture. Oh, I don't like it, but you know, everybody is eating that, so I'll continue eating it. And at some point, you start to enjoy it. Fish sauce is peak though. It isn't everywhere here. Exactly. A lot of fermented thing, to be honest. Like I think fermented is always like something a bit weird for people, but most of the time it's because like the particular culture in which the person is growing up is not fermented heavy, and it's just like a bit too much like of a, you know, gap to cross like for the first time. Mustard fermented herring with some chives, creme fraiche, and malort, whatever it's pronounced. No, garum as this. But yeah, very interesting, you know, how like food habits have changed in history because of like food availability and certain things. Again, like there has been a lot of new ingredients that were introduced during the modern era with what was growing up in America. And nowadays with like globalization, everything is accessible. Like almost everything is accessible to some degree. And I think we are living, again, we can talk about like, you know, the economical and social cost of like importing and globalization, but you have like this opportunity to like discover so many new flavors. And I think it's a very good opportunity, to be honest. Feels like local produce contributes to gut biome and thus food habits. I mean, I don't know. That's like a conclusion that I'm not sure I want to reach. I think it's like, you know, part of the thing. But you also have like just people that are like, oh, I don't like this taste at all because it's just not like so common in their culture. And it can be like almost like a placebo effect, right? Like, when you were like a kid, did you learn that like umami was a flavor or not? Because I didn't. And I think like having umami as a flavor in your head at a very young age, it will change the way you think about cooking and about cuisine. Just by knowing that it exists. Because people like, umami is in every culture, but like, did you as a kid associated like mushroom with like umami? At least here, it was not the case. For me, it's a texture issue with a lot of food I don't like. But I do think it's the same thing, right? It's that it's like, why do you don't like those textures? Like my naive guess would always be like, because you were not used to eating those things as a kid. Like there's like a sort of like negative like connection that you made, and that is like snowballing into, you know, adulthood. And it's hard to, you know, change things at that point. But it's very funny because I don't have textures that I don't like. I feel like because I have experienced like all kind of textures as a kid, everything is fine for me. Like I don't mind, you know, slimy food, because to some extent it's a staple of like Asian, you know, textures as well. I don't know. For the negative thing, I was forced to eat bananas, and now they make my body reject them violently. Yeah, I think this is like the situation where, you know, you have some part of genetics probably, but like this is a, you know, psychological effect and something bad that happened, and that it's just compounding into adulthood. Not impossible though, I had like extremely basic food tastes until my early and mid-20s. Okay, but when you say extremely basic, did you have like a negative opinion on certain foods? Like, oh, I will never eat that in my life? Or was it just like, oh, I like, savory, sweet, and like fatty things, but like no negative opinion? I was a robot before 13, no thoughts, head empty. But I think we were educated on umami. It's just an outlier in taste description words, so it's not as intuitive. It is hard to know what umami is, to be fair. I was told to fake it till you make it as a child. And I love all food textures and tastes now. I mean, to be fair, I agree. Like, this is probably my toxic trait, but to get used to things, you need to go through some pain, which is also the same thing for learning skills, right? And if as a child you were coddled, and I don't mean it's a bad thing necessarily, but if like you're not like positively pushed towards certain things that you don't like, yeah, I think, you will struggle, because like you can change obviously as an adult, but like your basic foundational, I think, taste profile will happen when you're young. And this is the time, especially when you're a kid, where you need like to focus on trying to eat certain things. I knew like about a child, in my friend's family, whatever, that loved like sour and bitter things like as a 2-year-old child. And I was like, what the heck? But at the same time, I think it's very good because they will be very open to like food on the long run. So there's a question about parenting here. It's like, how do you want to parent, to do your parenting? What do you want the relationship with food to be? I think it has to be like, when you're young, probably try things with your child. It's not like make an entire plate and they have to finish something that is a bit, outside of like the usual, average taste profile. But it's good to have like something a bit different so they can get used every day to eat at least, 1 or 2 mouthful or something a bit different. No negative opinions, but you ate a lot of fried chicken and you were scared of anything interesting. Okay, I see. Changed pretty rapidly after I was introduced to Thai food though. I mean, this is a good thing with like Asian food because it is so different from like Western food in a lot of aspects. And I think it's like a good way to really deepen your appreciation and expand your horizons. Umami is like ennui. Is this just like a sort of pun? Or because, I mean, umami is hard to describe because it's more like it's enhancing the other flavors. It's not savory. It's hard to, again, it's like, how do you describe a color for someone that doesn't know, like, that is blind? How do you describe savory to like people? Because I think like a lot of people learn about like flavors by saying, oh, this is savory, like this food is savory. And by like compounding like all those foods in your head, you understand what savory is. And I don't have like a better option like for umami. Umami is like soy sauce, MSG, mushroom. And it's like, yeah, you need to like taste them and you will understand at some point. Probably, I don't know. Keyword positive. A lot of ladies at kindergarten forced me to finish things I tried, and now most of those foods I can't eat. I mean, this is like the problem with like, with food in general, especially because I do think that, and for some good reasons to some extent, but there's this culture in like, in the West, where you have like set portions. And I think it's cooked. It's literally like cooked because you are like kind of forced or, pushed to finish like your portion of of food, even if you don't like it. But then you're just, as you say, forcing like the child to do something that they don't want to do, and it's just compounding problems on the long run. For me, and this is the way I grew up like half of the time, is that food is in the middle of the table, and mostly you have like 3 different dishes, and you just like eat whatever you want. And because you have this choice, you can eat at your, you know, you can choose what you want to eat. If you want to go like for the fried chicken, I think it's fine. But I remember we had a lot of, vegetables and things that were sour and bitter. And I really love bitter cucumber. This is like this is incredible. This is madness. And I remember that as a kid, I was like, yeah, okay, I can eat like a little bit, because I would always have a slice of like the stuffed bitter cucumber. And when I grew up, because of that, and it was always a choice, like I could ask for a small slice, a bigger slice, or whatever, but it was always like, you should try to eat like at least a little bit, because it's vegetable and it's nice. And because I had the choice and it was not like forced, when I was like a bit older, I used to eat that like a lot. I really, really like bitter cucumber. And I think that, in certain countries, and I think it's the case in Asia, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how like, school meals are like, organized and made in Asia. But I know that at the very least for like high school and mostly like college, it's kind of like a buffet where you can choose whatever you want to eat. And I think like it's a better approach to have like only one specific like dish that you have. And I remember like in my high school, we had like, this was like, you had like 2 choices every time for like the, for every, part of your meal. You had like different desserts, different like, main dish. And I think it's like, it's opening the possibility of being curious in a very positive way. Kind of works when you live alone and cook alone, though Asian family style meals are great, though with a group. I mean, when you cook alone, you cook for you, so you know what you want to eat. But I think, yeah, for, in like, I don't know, at the very least, if I have a child, I would probably like cook 2 things. Or at least like one dish and like one, side dish that is a bit weird or not, interesting, so that if my child wants to eat, they can try it. Which is also something that I like with the kind of like old school Japanese way of cooking, of always having like some sort of, pickled like vegetables or things like that on the side, because this is the real gateway to new thing. I think like main dish should stay like pretty safe, because it's where you will get like most of your energy, so you kind of need to finish that. So it's good to have something that you will like, that your child will like. But like the side dish, I think it's the perfect opportunity to have something a bit different. Be right back. Gonna make non-cooked cooked food. So basically like pre-packed food, something like that. We are yapping too much. What are we doing here? +2. But yeah, I think like food is, it's a very interesting topic. It's a very interesting topic. I used, when, the economy was better, I used to like go to restaurants quite often to try to eat new things, discover new cultures. And I kind of miss that, I think, being able to go out and to try new things. But it's just a bit too expensive nowadays, I think. But yeah, in general, we're talking about food, but I think it's, curiosity in general. I think it's always good to always go a little bit out of your comfort zone, because it makes you like a better person. It opens like windows onto the world, and you grow up like this. I think if you stay only in your comfort zone, you're not growing as an individual anymore. And then you, especially when you're an adult, you fall into the trap of thinking that you won't grow anymore, that like everything is set and you just, you know, do the same routine again and again. But the problem is that we never stop to learn in life. So yeah. And about the vibe, like umami being a vibe, exactly, it's a vibe. I mean, most of food like is just a vibe. It's just like some people, and especially when you begin cooking, I think it's fine to use like recipes and stuff like that. But at some point with some experience, it's just a vibe. Cooking is just a vibe. Like I see things in my cupboard, just use that. And I have some reflexes. I know, you know, that it will be good. Or I have some techniques. I can do like all the basic, you know, starters for like sauces, for French sauces. I have like my starters for Asian cooking as well. And you know, you can start with that and then you can start to improvise. And the rest of the cooking is mostly like vibe based. I don't think it's bad to follow recipes. Certain people say that at some point you should get completely rid of recipes. And I'm like, you don't have to. You can just follow recipes if it makes your life easier, if you're working and stuff like that. But I think passively, by repeating like certain cooking process again and again, you will just like get the hang of it and you will be able to be a bit more flexible and to do things without even thinking about it, which is very good. And that's why like authenticity, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It never existed, by the way. You have like these stories of like, oh, the authentic recipes of like this dish by my grandma. It's authentic for your grandma because it's what she cooks, but like, who cares about what your grandma is cooking? And she probably came to that, you know, through some sort of trial and error. Maybe she took the recipe from her parents as well, but you make tweaks every now and then. And I don't think that having like set recipes that never change are good nowadays, especially in like restaurant setting, because literally you cannot grow. You cannot grow as an establishment. You don't relate with the environment anymore. The environment is changing, but your recipes are not, and it's just what are you doing? And like we have access to so many different cultures. You can try other things. You can try to, you know, use some new ingredients that can be interesting in your cooking. Too bad baking is a bit different. I don't think it is. I think you can test things with baking. Like, nobody has the same recipe for cookies, right? Depending on, you know, whether you're using what you're using, like are you using baking soda, are you using something else, what's your ratio and so on. I think you have like all those small differences and you will find your best version of the cookie at some point by trial and error. And this version might be very different from another person. It's like, do you want, like for cookies, do you want something a bit more crunchy or do you want something like a bit more cakey? And there's no good answer here. It really depends on what people like. And also like the method to bake will be different depending on their answer. And I think there's a lot of flexibility in the way you cook, even baking. I would say I think it's easier to mess things up like completely while baking, but you still have like a lot of flexibility. It's just that it's not nice to fail your baking, right? You try something and it just doesn't work and you're like, oh man, I just need to like finish eating it anyway because it would be wasted. So that I think is like kind of the situation that is a bit difficult with baking. You can't recover like the process. Exactly. It's a bit more of a waste to try. But I don't think it's impossible. Especially if you like bake in very small quantities. Like I used to have like sort of like baking test sessions where I would just try to do like very small amounts of like different things and try to see how they would compare. And I did a lot of that for cookies, for example. But yes, it's like obviously a bit more of a waste. Although to be fair, one thing that is very good is just watching like a lot of YouTube videos. You have like so many different ways of like baking and so many different people that are posting their videos, and you can learn about a lot of different methods. And just by seeing the end result, it will give you some prompts on what you want to test. Like one thing I really enjoy, although I don't do it like a lot lately, is just watching like Japanese people like baking. It's kind of like always like ASMR adjacent, and it's always very fun, and you learn a lot about it. I will go into my future as a lab worker with a vibe-based approach. Thanks, Miyavi. I mean, you know, I'm a streamer right now, so obviously I go with vibes. But for STEM, probably you should not. Go with vibes for your hypothesis, maybe. But like on the experiment, you should probably be a bit more serious, I think. I don't know, I say that, but like a lot of like, you know, research is kind of vibe-based to like a certain degree. Like obviously I know more about like social science, but the hypothesis, because you only have like imperfect information, and you will never have perfect information anyway. Your hypothesis has to be vibe-based. It's like, I have an idea, maybe it will work, and then I do some research, and I consult some sources, and we try to create something. But science, there's always a part of like vibe in it, which is like the point of science. We are not seeking truth, we are seeking knowledge, which is different. Centiliter or millimeter, who cares? It's just numbers anyways. I mean, you can try. As long as you know your lab is not burning or exploding, it's probably alright. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, okay. It has been enough yapping. I think it's time to play the game at least a little bit. So I can like pretend I was advancing, I was progressing in the game. And we can still yap, you know, it's Dragon Quest, so it's still yapping adjacent. Okay, so normally you should see the game. I'll pause this and I'll put the music back. So last time, I don't remember what we were doing. Almost 2 hours into the Dragon Quest stream. Listen, I think yapping is nice. I think, you know, Zatsudan is very interesting also, like. Obviously I can't do this when there's literally nobody in the chat, because it's just like, what am I talking about for 2 hours alone? It's a bit too hard. But when the chat is here, I think we can yap a lot. Hi, Blue Cyber, I hope that you are okay today. Yap is good. I think yap is good. Okay, so last time we were doing the Ascension for Kali. What is this game? This game is, you can see in the title of the stream now, I think, at least on YouTube. You're on YouTube, so you can just see it. But it's Dragon Quest III. It's the remake that was released last year. So last time Kali became a sage. I think it was last time. I can't remember. I think so. And we also got the ultimate key. Dragon Quest, yes. Durakue, as the Japanese players are saying. So Kali is like super powerful, Sigrid is super powerful, and Mei is super powerful, so it's pretty good. And now we should enter the real mid-game and search for the orbs. And to do that, I mean, we should just find the... where is it? There. Yeah, because I come from here, but like it will allow me to have my ship nearby the shore, and then we can go to the continent to the east. But yeah, I want to do some more research like that. That's why like I'm really thinking of doing some videos, but I'm still waiting for my new model probably to do that. This game is like fight boss, right? I mean, it's like an RPG, so you have like monsters most of the time, and sometimes you have bosses. We talked about that like a lot, but like back then you had like very few bosses in this game. In the original version, like the SNES version, you had only like 10 bosses, and they have added like a lot of like boss in this version, I think. But no, I don't think we'll have like a boss anytime soon. You missed the stream where you finally stopped being a capitalist. You missed it. It was last stream, yeah. It was last week on Wednesday? I don't know. I mean, the votes are here if you want to check them, but... You like my model and my voice is good? Well, I'm glad. So yeah, we basically want to go like to Patagonia. There's also something here like that we want to explore at some point. You can see like there's like the pirate city south, but we'll go there like a bit after. Let's stop here so we can like at least get the loot from here. The Sea of the Travel. Say Anara. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm getting tricked into like anime culture bits. Can I don't know. I was watching like a bit earlier today, like Hiroa-san from Hololive was doing her live concert, and it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. I think she's such a great streamer. Like on the shy side, but she's very hardworking and a very nice inspiration. Her concert was nice. Okay, so XP growth is kind of like a struggle right now because we have been, you know, we have been playing a lot. We have been doing our class changes, so crunchy sound, perfect. Yeah, Kali is the next to level up, but you know, it's not. I mean, it's soonish because like enemies are dropping a lot more XP, but still. There might be a point where we'll do like a farming stream, like... Not a farming stream, a farming session off stream. Because we might struggle at some point before like the end game. Sigrid is starting to be crazy even when she's not critting, by the way. There has been also the patch of Genshin today. I've pulled for... Oh, this is crunchy. This is crunchy. Oh, by the way, there's a tree here. But yeah, I did pull for Skirk, and I did do the farm for Skirk. This game is travel. I mean, this is an RPG. Life is a travel. Life is traveling. We are travelers through life. But yeah, there's a lot of travel, especially since we unlock the ship. And like, again, like Dragon Quest III is a game that is inspired by our world. So it's so dark in here. And so they really want us to like travel to different locations every time. I can't... Oh, interesting. I am a girl. I am a girl. Oh, there's something in here. Okay, interesting. We have like so many different things to... I mean, we can go to the city probably right now. I mean, I have, I have the voice that I have. This is just that. There's also like... we can see like along the shore there's like a rock, but I don't know if this rock is... if this particular rock is... just assets, or if it's like a secret spot. Okay. Interesting. We are not struggling, to be fair. Oh, it might be a secret spot, they sure? Oh, it's not. Interesting. Very interesting. Very cooked. Literally exploring some sort of like Amazonia. This is very... very weird. Do I want to explore? I might want to explore the... I don't know, because we won't stay here. It's just complicated. Choices. I see like things. Like north, but maybe like it's... I don't know. Very interesting that May is able to act first because of her speed. Because she's also like a caster and she can be like very aggressive. I am in Argentina. It's true. Congratulations, Kelly. Oh, this is good. 4 points in wisdom, it's good. Apparently there are no mountains in this version of Chile, though. There are not. This is a bit... No, I shouldn't like explore this, right? It's like too far away for now. We'll go to them. We'll go back to the city. I mean, this is like an adaptation of like our world, so it's obviously like... There are some liberties taken here. But yeah, very interesting. It reminds me of like all the... What am I trying to say? I'm lost in my own thoughts. It reminds me of like when I was in my undergrad years, and I had a class about... the first globalization, right? So the Spanish, mostly Spanish and Portuguese, like colonization. And to be fair, I really enjoyed like learning more about the history of like South America. And this is almost like making me nostalgic of it. I'll change into like follow orders because I don't want to use like too much mana in here. I'm still weak for some reason. I thought I had some good defense with like, well, for myself, but maybe not. A seed of life. Interesting. Well. Is there something south, though? Oh, there's something here. No, this is... I don't understand. I do not understand. Very funny also that Sigrid has like a lot of spell access. I think I was cooking with this build. It makes my life like way easier. We might be also near like the moment where we do like a weapon change because we need maybe a bit more like single target damage. Unfortunately, you still have morning classes, so you have to go to sleep. Yeah, I was very glad that you were here for the yap as well. Thank you for the rest. Well, good luck for the rest of the stream, and thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Again, rest well, especially because it's very hot right now, and I hope that your classes will go fine. And I'll see you later. Bye bye. I don't know. I don't know what I was cooking. Whatever. Let's enter the tower. Oh, Sigrid did her level up, so that's why like she got like some... Well, she got healed. Are you eating something? I am not. Not right now. I mean, I was eating when... Well, the stream 2 days ago because I was doing some research, but I don't like eating on stream. To be fair, the yap was welcome because I think I was still digesting my lunch. I think like I ate a bit too fast and this was like a bit weird. Okay, so there are things to loot. Seed of Strength, it will just go on Sacred probably. Item bag. Yes, let's make Sigrid kind of like a monster. And agility should always go on the lowest. The building up ahead is the hideout of a gang of bloodthirsty pirate scoundrels. I'd stay away if I were you. I don't think anyone will cause us problem, to be fair. Let's go inside. There's nothing in here? Interesting. Do we have something? Let's explore all the rooms, by the way. Okay. There is a bag. A dummy? Eh? どういうこと? A few spoiled brats? Oh, I see, like a dummy. Oh, okay. I understand. So this is like an equipment for... Equipment... And this is like a little bit of... Eh? This is just to change like your personality, I guess? I don't know. There's nothing in here. There's literally nothing in here. Cells? Interesting. There's something there. Mini medal, this is very nice. Oh. The pirate returns at nightfall to count their spoils. You should do well not to be here then. Okay. Interesting, that's why nobody was here yet. We can explore the room here. A lot of barrels and pots, whatever. I feel a bit like it's a weird room. I don't know. There's like a cupboard here. Bit of leg warmer. Leg warmer. I don't. How do you pronounce that? Like Xin Chao? Who is it for? I'm losing it. Leg warmers, okay. Defense, okay. But we don't play defense a lot, to be fair. By the way, there's a monster literally here. And there's a pot also, I think. Finally home. Oh, you were on the bus. Welcome home. You want some Vietnamese chat? I mean, I'm not a Vietnamese streamer. I don't speak the language, so it would be hard to I mean, to be fair, like, this is also the problem of, like, when people are not chatting in a language I know, I can't check if what you're saying is true. And that's why, like, most of the time, if it's not a language I know, I will not pronounce it, which is also kind of like a rule of thumb for streamers, because you don't know if you're tricked into saying things that are offensive. You know, even if people are on average, like, well, you know, behaved, it's like not good to take too much risk. So probably like French, English, Japanese, a little bit of German and Italian, it's fine. A lot of Romance language, I can just, you know, go through them by their closeness to French, but yeah. Interesting. Not at all ominous, probably. The Phantom Mask, very interesting. And the Skull Ring. Phantom Mask. Oh, this is an accessory? Or is it? No, this is her. Oh, okay, interesting. So this is for, like, basically but everyone is kind of benefiting from it, they sure? Okay, no, so this is for Sigrid, the Phantom Mask. She's becoming a Phantom Thief. A 3-hour bus ride. Oh, yeah. I mean, the usual you're doing. But well, again, I hope that you had a good time. And yeah, welcome home. This is nice to rest. We go travel with monsters. Yeah, this is the what they added in this version. Like, I don't really know what to think about it, but we have not done the monster arena yet, just because it doesn't really interest me. But yeah, so let's go back to the ship. Or should we? Wait, because we're on the east side of the... I mean, we can do the walk. I think it's just... Let's not be lazy. It's like the people, you know, I found that, you know, ordering food through like delivery apps, it's really not my thing, but sometimes people are doing that for, you know, restaurants that are like 500 meters from their place. It's like, at this point, what are we doing? Okay, so like south, southeast is the direction. Speaking of bus ride, I haven't done like a bus ride in so long. Last time was probably with school. And they are not expensive, so it's a good thing, like a good argument in their favor, but I don't know. At this point, I think I just prefer taking the train, but I don't know. So I don't think we'll find like a lot of things here. I don't remember this place being like ever relevant in general. Again, I think you can understand why this was such a big game back then. It's like literally a town was designed here with zero relevance to the main story, just for fun. It's less than half the price of a train ticket, less than half interesting. So yeah, it's obviously it's worth it, but again, imagine having publicly funded trains and well managed. I know we had that discussion already, but I have so much to tell you. The Archfiend's stronghold lied in the depth of the Necrogond, and there you will go. You will, and you will cast mighty mountain cleaver into the maw of the volcano. I mean, this is true, but listen, old man, we are not doing that like in a long time, so you are just spoiling the game. I don't know, let's just explore everything this show. So this is kind of like, you know, the Pirate Republic, like the Utopia. There's nothing here. You want to tell me that there is nothing here? Some bus services also have a service where you can order a group ride in a van as well. In a van? Like a sort of thing to go from the airport to like the city proper. Okay, a book. Champion's Code. Oh, there's something here as well. Leap before you look. A lot of gold. Oh, a lot of gold. It's putting us like very comfortably for the next part of the game. Interesting. Did you know the world is round and spins continually? I can't believe it. Is it this rotary motion that makes the star and the sun appear to move through the sky? Yes. Yes, the world spins. I mean, that was a transfer service, sort of. Yeah, okay, I see. We have like similar things here. Although I think they were like far too expensive for what they are, but you know, when you have a monopoly, you can just charge whatever you want. I was reading about like how is it called? Like the machine of like Antikythera, I think. Antikythera mechanism. That was well known, right? Like I already knew about it, but I think like there were like some also recent advances on research that I I didn't know. And oh, sorry, I want to. Oh, not, I hate this. I want to sneeze, but it's not. It's not there, so. Oh, interesting. There's also a garden here. Yeah. And like this machine was like found in, was it a Roman ship? Whatever, it was like a shipwreck in the Mediterranean Sea. And this machine was used to like calculate, it's literally like a mini computer with like a lot of gears that was meant to calculate the position of like the moon and like the 5 classical planets at the very least. And it's very interesting because we still don't know how they were doing that. We don't exactly know the exact arrangement of gears, because the mechanism is so rusty. But even back then, it's like, for this to exist, it means that like complex and exquisite mechanisms were kind of like the usual when it comes to you know, Hellenistic civilization. And this is like very interesting to me that you can literally like calculate the position of like the stars in the sky and make a computer to already know in advance where things will be, you know, even 10 years in the future in ancient Greece, in Hellenistic Greece. So basically, you know, probably 20 like of our era. And there's this whole thing about like, did like the ancient know that the earth was round? Yes, they knew. They knew about it, of course. It has been proven multiple times. It was not the complicated things. The complicated things for like the ancients was like, is the earth at the center of the universe? And most people thought it was. The Monte Cleaver is possessed by a man named Simao, but it's not for now, so it doesn't really matter. We'll do that later. And like the Earth at the center of the universe, the problem is like somebody tried to argue that the sun was at the center of the universe. But because like they lacked the means of proving it, it just didn't work. Like their proof just didn't work. But the idea was sound. It's just that they lack like modern instruments. So very interesting to see the ingenuity of like the people before us. And I think like we tend to overestimate what like modern, you know, Western culture really brought to the world. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we will try to find the other orbs, right? The green one. Do I play another game? I mean, right now, no. In the future, yes. And if you want to know the games I'm playing or whatever we are doing, you just have to go on either Blue Sky or the Discord server and you check like the schedule and you will have the overview of everything we are doing. Or just check the schedule. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I'm streaming Friday. Friday we'll play Marvelous, but again, everything is on the schedule. You don't have to. And I talk about that at the end of the stream, but yeah, you can just check there. kind of want to go like here, right? Because there's like this thing, this circle in there that is of interest to us. No, I can't stream every day. I have things to do, unfortunately. I have things to do. I am working, doing some research. So no, I'm streaming only 3 days per week. There's also this lighthouse we can like enter just to get like the teleportation point. I don't think it matters much, but you know, very interesting that it is called like the Portoga, because this is literally like Gibraltar, right? So I guess that's why like you still have like, oh, there's a secret spot in here. All of that for literally like one bulb. There's probably a monster here at night, to be fair. But we're again in this situation where I don't want to bother with that. Again, I've checked like the post-game of Dragon Quest. It's madness. They were probably not cooking, and we will not do the post-game on stream ever. Ever. Because it's just too hard. And they were just power creeping like all the enemies. Like literally the final boss becomes like, not the final boss, but like one of the last boss becomes like a regular enemies. So we are not doing this. This is the way like people used to navigate, right? You just follow the coast. We're literally playing the Portuguese that are doing like that are circumventing like Africa to get to India. And that was with Vasco da Gama, right? You know your history. I don't know why I'm, you know. So, okay, we are near our destination, probably. Scissor was probably not necessary, but at this point, who cares? Very good level up, so we gain our health and MP back. This is +5 strength. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, I'm satisfied. Okay, we'll disembark here and we'll go to the center of this sort of like big clearing or whatever, hill. You're a merchant. Oh, we can buy like a boomerang for May. There are two choices for May, to be fair. I'm not against her going with a single target weapon. But single target, we have like secret, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. At the very least, we should buy like the Ghost Ring. And we have a lot of things to sell if needed, so I shouldn't try to like save too much money. Okay, we are probably good for now. Can I save here? We once counted among our flock the villages of Thedon, but alas no more. Then head by ship southeastwards and follow the great river. You will happen upon Thedon before long. Oh, this is like how people would like also like go up the Congo River, they show. I can save, it costs nothing. We'll take the portal just because I don't know where it leads, and if it's a new area, then we can have the teleport point. Oh, this is not. This is the one that was like... It's near Muir, right? World map. Yeah, okay, so... Doesn't really matter for now. Okay, let's just follow the river, probably. It's a bit unfortunate that... I mean, there was an inn just like here. I don't know. So let's follow the coast, and then we are going up the river. It has been a very long time since I've taken a boat also. Can't even remember when was last time. I was young back then. I don't know, I can't remember. This is a crazy HP increase. What do you mean, like 44 points? 7 points of strength? This is madness. This level up doesn't make any sense. It's just too good. It's too good. What happened? Acceptable. I mean, this is a good one, but like, I just had like a godly level up, so... In comparison, it doesn't look as good. But also, comparison is the mother of despair. Something like that. I was preparing also like some research for like, so the video that I want to create on like fishing in Japan, and I don't know, I was just like, there was like an expression, a saying that I enjoyed in Japanese, and I was just translating it like literally, and I don't know, it was funny. It's like, if you translate it literally, it's like, if the fish is kind to the water will be kind to the fish. In other words, it's like kindness begets kindness. But I was like very, you know, it was very funny, this idea of like, the fish is kind to the water. What do they mean by that? There's a joke also, because it's like koshin or something like that, which means also kindness, but it's written with like the kanji of like a fish. Whatever. What am I talking about? I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah, doing some research. I need to finish my Japanese after also, and I have some reading in Japanese to do. I was reading Detective Conan. Well, not was. This is the big thing I'm doing like in Japanese right now. I'm reading Detective Conan in Japanese, and it's very fun, to be fair. I'm really having like a lot of fun with it. And I think it's a very good manga. If you like mystery stories, very good. Very, very good. As much as I do also enjoy like Indaishi Shonen no Ichikenbo, as much as I do enjoy QED, yeah, Detective Conan is just too good. It is just too good. Let's put the ship in here. This is like a sort of like haunted village or whatever. It's a bit unfortunate that I left the ship, but... Oh wait, there's also... Wait. There's something north also, right? Are the enemies here hard or not? No. And Mei is starting to do a lot of damage because she has like very good like strength stat. And now she has like a better boomerang. So what we want to do... I love this music in this game. I mean, I do agree. I really like it. I mean, Dragon Quest, I don't think like... Of course, the soundtrack is also very similar, you know, across all of the games. But this is just very good. And I really want to play Dragon Quest X just to see if there are like other tracks that I don't know about the series or not. But Dragon Quest X, it's so hard. It's so hard to play, especially on stream, because... it's in Japanese. And the translation patch is not the best for different reasons. Waka waka. Interesting again. What do I think about like this enemy? I don't want to know. You just know Conan because of the yaoi controversy. What is the yaoi controversy in Detective Conan? I don't even know what you're talking about. Can you like enlighten me? There was a controversy. What? Was it in Japan or was it in the West? The movie and the most popular yaoi ship was revealed to be cousins after many years of shipping. Oh yeah, between like Shinichi and like Kaito, but like... I mean... yeah, I mean... It was quote-unquote a controversy, but like... I don't know. It's like... Even for Japanese people, is that a problem for them? You know, they ship like things that are a bit crazy anyway. And you have like so many ships. Like I don't think the Shinichi Kaito ship is like the most popular nowadays. The most popular is probably like... I don't know, to be fair. Because you have like Amuro and Akai. But I think... I don't know. Do Japanese women think that like Amuro is like... is like gay? We don't know. Just a funny move, I think. I mean, the thing is like, Gosho Aoyama, we don't know if like he's in tune with like modern culture. I don't think, you know, he understands how big like his series actually is. And it's very funny. He almost thinks as himself as like an indie, you know, a very small mangaka, when it's literally the biggest, one of like the most popular and famous person in Japan right now. Like we talked about that, but like every Conan film is like topping the box office every year in Japan. It's just that big. Like the film that released like 1 month and a half ago, it seems to be like the best film of all time. It's just like it's that crazy. And he's like, I don't know, behaving in a way that is a bit weird. But like we know that Detective Conan is mostly like a woman manga. Mostly because for some reason detective fiction is more, I don't know, played and watched by women than men. And I cannot really explain why. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very Fujoshi manga, Detective Conan. But at the same time, it's also very like straight. Like all the canonical romances are straight. And I don't know, I find that like a bit funny. What am I doing? I'm searching for... Because it cannot be... Is it just for monster, like at some point of the... There are like those conspicuous like rocks as well. But yeah, Detective Conan is great, and reading it in Japanese, it's literally like that, here, literally here. It's a very interesting experience, because like the manga at the beginning was like, and the anime made some interesting decisions, let's say. Not bad necessarily, but interesting. For example, they have like pushed back like certain big cases, and they have like pulled early some, like the Moonlight Sonata murder case, literally like episode 11. Episode 11, it's a 10 out of 10 episode. It's one of the best case in Japanese fiction. Episode 11. And you watch the anime and you're like, yeah, this series is crazy. Very good luck roll here. But yeah, I should watch some anime in Japanese also, but like, it takes more time to watch like anime than reading manga. I don't know, I'm not very much anime peeled lately. There was like a thing in Blue Sky, I think yesterday, about like, check like the box for all the manga that, like all the famous anime that you have watched. That you have watched in your life. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can see when I really fell off anime watching. Interesting. Like after 2016, I was not watching that much anime. I was reading some manga, but anime was just like... And even the quality of anime, it was like also like a different style. It's... I don't know. A black bandana. Equipment. Probably for cigarette, no? No, it's a... Am I crazy? Literally nobody wants the bandana. Okay. Night light. Quest item. It's just a corpse. It is just a corpse. Where are my FPS? But yeah, anime, it's complicated. There are some good animes, but like the structure of like anime studios nowadays, I don't think it is very conducive to very good anime. And you had like, you know, like QAnon, like the burning of QAnon was not like something that helped the industry as well. You have certain studios that were doing alright, but then they were just like scaling. They were scaling in a way that was unhealthy, and you have like a lot of people that worked in this industry, and it was just not sustainable anymore. Pointy hat, probably not good for anyone. Oh, I need to cross the church if I want to go there. And yeah, and manga, to be fair, it's kind of the same. Although, like, manga, you can, like... Oh no, you have to cross the poison. Are you sure? She's crazy. You can choose, like, certain magazines that you like, and you will know that the manga are pretty good within, you know, that particular magazine. Like if you read Evening, if you read like the Shonen Sunday, you will probably have a good time, but just a corpse. Just a corpse. There was like a prompt here, okay. That's all? Okay, interesting. They are putting loot literally in the poison. Isn't that like a bit sadistic? We aren't taking no damage from it, almost. I thought it would like drain us like far more, but no. What am I doing in here? I don't know. It might be all for now. I'm kind of expecting things to be different during the night. So we'll probably just hang out. I mean, we have like a lamp to like the night light will swap between like the cycle, but I think we can just take this opportunity to farm a little bit like XP. It will not be wasted anyway. So yeah. I don't know, there are... there are a lot of things that I want to do. I was thinking of like playing Old Skies again, but at the same time, it feels like it's a game I should play on my own. I don't know why every time I think of like putting it in the schedule, I'm ultimately opting against it for reasons that are literally beyond my understanding. I don't know. I mean, obviously I tend to gravitate towards like adventure games and RPGs, but I'm wondering whether I should play like something, a bit different. Play some action game or whatever. If only there was like a short, Souls-like game. Just, I don't think I have the energy nor the willingness to go back into like Dark Souls, a game like that. But diversity is fun also, I don't know. I'm almost like regretting having started like Clair Obscur on my own, because it would be weird now to like play the game, I think. Same thing I still have my Baldur's Gate playthrough that I need to finish. I'm almost there. I can feel that I'm almost there, but like, it's still, oh yeah, you're near the end, 15 hours, probably 20. And I can feel that I'm pushing myself on this last part of the game. I will talk about Baldur's Gate when I finish it. I was also thinking of playing, but this is like for myself, because I wanted to play it in Japanese. I wanted to play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team DX, so like the remake on Switch. I've heard like mixed things about it, like very different things, very divided opinions. I still want to play it just because it's like convenient for like Japanese learning. But I guess also because it's a DS game, right? So I guess that even like the DS version has furigana. I don't know. Many things I want to do again. I'll probably suffer a little bit here because there was a lot of enemies. Or maybe not. Yeah, obviously we want to use like elemental spells with them. Funny you say that, because it's so relatable starting or finishing a game and then only later thinking that it could have made a good stream. Yeah, I mean, Clair Obscur, I started it during my break, so it's kind of like, yeah, a bit unfortunate, but at the same time I don't regret it. But yeah, also like I'm still like on the fence about this, because I do play Hoyoverse games. And one of the first stream was on Genshin. It wasn't very good for reasons that were, I think, like very specific to this stream. But to be fair, I'm wondering like why I do refuse like very like sharply to play those games on stream, because there's no real reason I could play them, to be fair. There are some stories I did not do. Like a lot of world stories in Genshin are still in my backlog because I don't have the time and I'm waiting for a better occasion, a better opportunity. Like, I've not done Sumeru, like the desert, at all. I've not done the quest for the pyramid. I've not done like the Jeet quest line, and it's really something I need to do. And I'm like, why am I not doing this on stream? It would be like easy for like everyone. And I don't know, I just want to do it, to play it. Star Rail, I have a lot of like content that I haven't done. I know like there was the quest of Argenty that was intended to be like a funny quest. I have still not done it, and it was like a year and a half ago, I think. ZZZ, I don't know. It can work because it's like a bit more action-based. But yeah, a lot of different things that I can do. And this could be like, you know, stream worthy. I don't know. I think choosing games is hard. Because I kind of like put a lot of pressure on myself while choosing games. In the sense that I'm always like, oh, I should like play a game that I think is interesting to watch. But I don't know if it's like the right like approach to it. Maybe I should just play whatever I want to play, even if it's like not interesting to people. I feel like, you know, I'm trying to like squeeze a lot of yapping, and it kind of like inhibites some of my game choices. Perhaps, I don't know. This is also not a big problem, but still. I think we are here more for you anyhow. I mean, and this is very kind, and I do appreciate it a lot, because and it always makes me like a bit uncomfortable. Not like that people are here, but like there are like some creators that I do enjoy. I do enjoy like being like on your stream as well. And I feel like I can't watch all the people that I want to watch just because I don't have the time. Or I choose to use my time, you know, in other ways. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm also kind of like wary about starting games that take like a very, very, very long time. And if we do, we are kind of locked into that game like kind of for good. Imagine like starting to play Xenogears, not Xenogears, but like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on stream. It's a 100-hour game. It was probably not 100 hours. I think I finished the game in like 80 hours. But it's like, do you have the time to put like 80 hours on stream if you're not streaming every day? And if you're not making like some sort of, you know, endurance stream? Because like we are stopping at like 4 hours maximum. I think like it would be sustainable to do those streams if we were doing like 6 or 8 hours. It's not impossible, to be honest, but I'm not sure there's also like I'm not sure. I don't know. But this is a problem, like too many games are, I think, quite long nowadays. And it's like, oh yeah, but you know, Miyabi, you have like a lot of very short games, short indie games. And I'm like, yeah, I do agree. But those games are also often like 1 hour, 30 minutes. And we could do several of them in a session, but I think like it's good to digest. When you finish a game, I think it's good to not play anything immediately. So you can like take at least the night to think about it. And I don't want to play like multiple indie games back to back, because I think it's kind of like disrespecting them by not giving them enough time to, I don't know, coalesce in my mind. But yeah, we'll see. Like I don't know. To be fair, right now, I don't have like a lot of games I really want to play. So we don't know. What do you have here? It's literally cooked. Maybe the magic armor for 11 points. I think it's expensive. But at the same time, we're trailing behind. I'm taking a lot of damage. We have the money. Okay, buy it. Don't ask questions, just buy it. Yes, I'll buy it. Thank you very much. By the way, is there like someone up there or not? Oh, I can't. During the night I cannot. You're blocking the way. Very interesting. We can stay at the inn, I guess. But before that, let's check like if there's something else in... Oh, very interesting. You were the one that we saw, and now you have a marker. Well, we know we can open. We have already the ultimate key, so it doesn't really matter. Hello. Will we have a boss in here? Hell, literally hell. Okay, so what we might want to do, how much time do we have? We're almost at 3 hours of stream. So let's heal. By the way, who is taking the money? Right here, right now. You're a ghost, literally a ghost. I'm putting the money on the table and then it just stays here. Oh, very interesting, because now... Okay, I'm too lazy for this. Let's just go to... You can use this, by the way. Just go to... What do you mean there's no point? It's something that I need to use like... outside? Oh my god. Okay, item bag, night light, use. It's a bit crazy, like, I feel like it's not like an item that should be used. It feels a bit too powerful to be able to literally change into like nighttime. Okay, so what we want to do is to save, and then we talk to like the man with the marker in the cell or whatever. Oh, you're guarding, that's why you... Big on trespasser, I don't care. Who are you?
Thou art come at last.
Thou art come at last.
I had foreseen that one day a great hero, on a quest most noble, would visit me. The orb. Take it, please.
Well, thank you. I mean, the orbs is the first game where you have the orbs in the Dragon Quest series. And... whoa.
This is our den of darkness.
And the orbs are kind of like something like the crystals in Final Fantasy. You will find them in almost all the games, although they serve different purposes, like in Final Fantasy.
Will not suffer the living here.
You're a bit crazy. Are you a new boss? I don't know. You're not a... Eh? Are you a boss? It's a series of mobs? Okay, anyway, follow orders. What do I want to do? What spells do I have? cackling. Turns all party members. No, we don't want to use that. We don't have debuffs, to be fair. We don't have debuffs. So one easy way to handle this is just to attack. Kali needs to like start to debuff. I mean, K-buff is not bad, but I think Magic Barrier is probably like a bit better. So we'll start with Magic Barrier. Can you like debuff them? Do you have K-sap? You have K-sap, interesting. Oh, but K-sap is only on a group of enemies, so it's like slightly annoying, right? Because we don't cleave like everyone. Part of me is kind of like thinking that Sigrid should just play by herself. Because I don't know the vulnerabilities of the enemy and the computer knows. And so May... But Decelerate is the same problem. Decelerate is only on a group of enemies. We might want to cleave at least like the two that are like in the middle. Is Crackle good on you? Like how many HP do you have? We use like Magic Barrier twice. I mean, I don't think we're struggling. Because you have like the... Oh, you have the... No, okay, yeah. Do I want to cleave? I don't know. We could bang also. But I don't think it's doing that much damage. We should try. I don't think it's good. You have a lot of health. To a point where, okay, we'll start to... We'll start to suffer because of like action economy. The problem now is that do I have a spell to like remove debuffs? I don't think I have. So just attack. You can probably just attack right now. Let's do Sizzle in here and we try to see if it works. We need to focus like enemies one by one, probably. Okay, Sizzle is great. You have taken the crit damage and you're still like alive. Okay, we need to be careful here. I don't know why they attack me so much. It doesn't really matter. Okay, fight, spell, you need to heal, mid-heal on myself. And probably just Sizzle the Phantasm. We need them like out of the way. For now, no... Oh my god, they keep summoning each other. We could also... I don't know. Let me... kill you. I should not take care of like attack. I should heal. I should be the healer. I mean, Sigrid can heal because she was like the priest before, but... Are they fusing? Is the group fusing? I don't think it's fusing. which is like kind of the problem. As long as you do normal attacks, I'm fine, to be honest. Okay, so continue to do that. You need to buff again the group. We need like magic barrier, sure. And then, yeah, just seize all the group on the, okay, on the left. Oh my god. Oh my god. Spooky, we need to destroy you also. We need to kill the Phantasm because it's just like too annoying. Accelerate is still here for this turn. So what I'll do is I'll do Freezel on the Phantasm and we'll try to focus on them like for this particular turn. And there's like this unfortunate situation where, okay, this is not good because Sigrid is debuffed, so she's taking extra damage from spell. Kind of lucky here, but beware. Beware. Kali, you need to Freezel probably. Probably Sigrid will heal herself. At least we trust. Okay. Okay. You're probably almost dead. Spell? I don't know. I can Freezel on the set. It doesn't really matter. I wish like Miyabi could be attacked just so that she would wake up, but... Okay, so now we can't be debuffed anymore. So the goal here is basically to do enough damage to kill them before they spawn new monsters, something like that. Yeah, okay. There's something like annoying here is that Sigrid should not be on healing duty. She should be DPSing. Okay, change the tactic. Change the tactic, and we just do the other way. Everyone is following orders. Oh, you're still sleeping. Oh my god, you're still sleeping. They have like so much health. It's madness. Just go for mid heal. It's good enough. Spell, Sizzle. We need to. Oh my god. It's okay, it's... I don't know. Their Windblade is doing like so much damage. But what is good on them to be... I don't know. Especially effective against airborne enemy. Do we consider them airborne enemies? I don't know. Also, you could argue that here Kazap is not bad. Because they are in a group of 2, so it's like acceptable. We need like massive healing, but I don't think we have anyone here that is able to heal the entire group. She's still sleeping through the... I don't want to use like a turn to... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, she cannot use that. She cannot use that. So probably just Sizzle here. And we hope that May doesn't die. Probably. Yeah, do like normal attacks. It makes my life easier, way easier. Don't do whoosh, please. Don't do whoosh. Even though it's not the worst, it's not the worst. Okay, do that. Do that. And you should be able to kill the two of them, probably. It's not over yet. Okay. Just focus. We need to be more aggressive with healing as well. Okay, so you do that. You sizzle here. You more heal yourself. And we need like sizzle, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, not bad, we are back. No, we still want to heal. May, spell. Can I attack? If I do flying knee, let's try. And then I sizzle, but on the left. Very good crit. On healing duty, it's fine. Okay, so let's do... this again. Spell, sizzle, left. Be aware of the MP situation also. I think we're still good, but we need to be slightly like aware that Sigrid is slowly running out of MP, but I don't think they're summoning things anymore, so it might be the end. It might be oh my god. At least they're in the same group. They're in the same group. Heal yourself. On the left, spell. Do I want to heal? I need to heal. And no, Frizzle to kill on the right. Anyway, they won't be. We are in a pure AoE situation now. We will be able to cleave everyone. So I think it should be manageable now. I don't have like good spells that, I mean, I can do this, I can try to do this. Whoosh is my only like, okay. Kazap is not a bad idea as well, to be fair. Oh my god. You got like the kill on literally the one. The problem now is that Zing is like a surefire raise, so okay, it's not that bad then. Oh, it's not surefire. I need her alive. I need Sigrid alive. I don't know why I was attacking here. This is a bit frightening, to be honest. Oh, you need to heal yourself. Please don't die. Please don't die from... Oh my god. It never ends. They are summoning things without end. This is the worst combat of all time. I don't remember that. Was it in the original version? The problem of bans is it's only on one person. You could bounce, but like it only works on like very specific situation. I don't think it works. So we should like at the very least decelerate doesn't matter, they are not dodging. No, okay, so you will stay like on the attack duty. The other wing swoosh that could have been, oh my god, it never ends, it never ends. This will be the end of the stream afterwards, like, we're not playing anymore after that. Do Kasap, because they're all together, and then you can Sizzle here. The problem is that Sigrid is going afterwards, so we are losing a little bit of DPS here. Oh my god. Okay, good RNG, but probably not enough. It never ends! It never ends! Oh, she's running out of MP right now. Everybody is running out of MP. It just makes no sense. Also, why am I using that? Use like Helicopter is better. More healed on yourself. Spell. Sizzle. Please say that we... Okay, heal beforehand. Again? Again? What is this fight? What is this fight? You can't just do an... But even an ability is like... Okay, free, only free. Oh, the sleep is bad. The sleep is very bad, but... What do you expect me to do here? Back to free. Literally P. It's like... We'll have fought like 30 enemies by the end of this fight, probably. Are you good? I don't know. I don't know if I'm good. It's like, this is literally the worst fight of the game right now, I think. I don't mind like waves of ads because you have like a more AoE scenario you need to think about, but them being able to just like spawn like backups without any end, it makes no sense to me. Because those games like RPGs are battles of attrition, and we're literally suffering from not having enough resources right now. Okay, only two. Almost there. Don't call for backup. We can do this. Heal yourself. You need healing here. Let's greed. Just use Propeller Blade. Probably. Okay, only one. Almost there. Okay. So now we have like the ascendant in terms of economy of battle. So we can just finish with skills that are like single target. And it should be enough. It should be enough. Trust. It was the worst fight of the game. I hate this so much. But look at the XP though. It's not bad. 8,000 something? Okay, I'll take it. This is a very strong level up, it's just that the class is a bit weak. Like Hero is a bit weak as a class, so not bad, but who cares also? We have also, if everyone is leveling up, we'll have like the healing, the free healing. This is good. HP is unfortunate, but like MP is very good. Good also on Wisdom, I guess. Decent. At least luck is good. Yeah, okay. So everyone got healed. Perfect. Strength 8 in, 5 in strength is good. 3 in luck is good. Agility is very good. Although we don't need it too much right now. Hypno-whip is very good. This is like a key mechanic for us. Thank God. Thank God it's over. Okay. So we'll be nearing the end of the stream. Probably.
Gather thee the orbs scattered across the world, and take these said orbs to the sacred place in Rimland.
In Rimland.
An isle of ice far to the south. There shall a new path open unto thee.
Very interesting. But before we go... Are you just... Interesting. Well, we are healed. So before we go, I just want us to go to Rimland. I think so. I think so. But this is also a bit weird because like it's... If you check like the world map, you see that it's basically like Antarctica. So... Who knows? Who knows? So before we go, I want us to go to Japan. And this is by going here. I mean, Santa Claus. I mean, yes. So we'll go to Japan. So it fits like my, you know, thumbnail on YouTube. And then we can like stop here probably, just after we find like a save point. A very nice camera work here.
You could not find her? Oh, innocent Yayoi.
Yayoi,
I feel for
being the
you,
name of
sir.
like an ancient civilization in Japan.
I hope she has fled. We need peace, not sacrifice. Why, Queen Pimiko?
So yeah, it's a really like ancient Japan, right?
My apologies.
Literally,
Entrusting
you
you with
know,
her search.
400 something.
Hateful work, indeed.
Very good
How
music.
long, I wonder, till the Queen punishes us? Her rage knows no bounds.
Yeah, I mean Queen Himiko. We could like talk about that,
Festus
but
yet. Orochi's appetite grows.
Orochi the
How long
serpent.
do we have?
Still, I remain glad. Losing Yayoi would have hurt. She has done no wrong.
There's a lot going on in here.
Sacrificing girls. Orochi's awful demands.
So this is like a common theme in
no
Japanese
part.
mythology, obviously, like the sacrifice of girls, virgins,
The
depends on,
swordsmith's
you
wife,
know,
her husband.
the versions.
They fled just in time. Then Yayoi was next, but she vanished soon after. The fiend is starving. Queen Pimiko too. We know not how she will act. I live in terror.
I live in terror.
More sacrifices. I know they will be chosen. There's no end in sight.
Very interesting.
Indeed, at your age, the worry must be intense. Curse that vile monster.
It's very funny how it sounds like, you know, badly translated Japanese,
Though we
but
must rejoice, now Yayoi still lives and breathes. May it continue.
may it continue.
She must leave Japan. Or the Queen will find her soon. Such is her power.
There's a lot of yapping, to be honest, in here. A bit more than I would have expected from
Now,
Dragon Quest III.
That is enough. It's time to disperse promptly.
Because normally in Dragon Quest III, you would
Like all is well.
just like learn about this organically by talking to like the inhabitants of the town, not through
dearest
like a forced
Yayoi.
cutscene.
I pray you can stay hidden. But I still worry. I have to find her before anyone else does. This is my duty.
This is my duty.
As you deserve life, like the bees deserve pollen, I will protect you.
No, it's a story about love, you know. We know that it's the usual here. Okay, and we have the save point there. Thank God we have like Christianism in Japan already. And that will probably be all for today. It was a shorter session than I expected, of course, because we have been yapping for half of the stream, I guess. Alone in chat. I mean, you're on YouTube. People are hanging out on Twitch normally. And the chat is not appearing on... The YouTube chat is not appearing on stream because that's like part of the regulation of the rules of Twitch. If you want to hang out... Hi YouTube, hi YouTube! If you want to hang out with people, feel free to come on Twitch instead. I know like it's slightly annoying, but that's where people are hanging out. Hi YouTube! But yeah, okay, that will probably be all for today. So the next stream will be on Friday for Marvelous. So sort of like RPG, but also a bit more, you know, action, puzzle based, very similar to Zelda 3. It will be nice. I'm sure it will be nice. I enjoyed it when I was younger, although I did not finish the game for some reason. So yeah, I think it will be kind of like a rediscovery because I've not played the game in years and years and years. And yeah, that's it. That's it for today. Thank you for hanging out here. Thank you very much for the discussion at the beginning. It was very, very nice. I had a lot of fun yapping. Please, again, take care of yourself. It's summer. And I know that, I mean, you know, we have some people in chat that are not suffering from heat too much, but remember to hydrate. It is still important, and feel free to also rest as much as you can. Thank you so much for having been here today, and I'll see you next time. You are that chatter. I know, but still. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.